Hey, Charlie here from GuitarMasteryMethod.com, and right now I'm going to show you how to hold a guitar pick correctly. Now, I've seen plenty of different ways people hold a guitar pick, and me personally, I've tried lots of them. But after studying the large majority of professional guitarists, I found that most of them hold the pick the same way. Now, you do get some pro guitarists that do hold the pick differently, but if you're going to study something and you see that 80% of them are doing one thing, then that's the thing that I'm going to follow. So that's what I'm going to teach you here today. So what you want to be doing is grabbing your guitar pick. Okay, now put your hand straight out. Okay, with your fingers slightly curved like that. Now you want this finger here to be creating pretty much like a little arrow pointing straight out. Okay, so as you put your hand there, that arrow should be shooting at a 90-degree angle. So you're going to take your guitar pick and you're just going to place it right on top of that finger. So as you are doing that, that pick will now be shooting off at the 90-degree angle, okay? And you're just going to put your thumb on top of it. So if you got lots of pick hanging out, then it's going to look somewhat like that. All right, so if you want to double check you got it right, put your hand out, and if it's not shooting off a 90-degree angle, if it's pointing out that way or pointing back that way, then you want to make sure that it is right there in the middle, okay? Now the reason for that is because now when you bring it down to your guitar, then it's going to be pointing right into the guitar, and that's exactly how we want it. Now you just want to obviously put your hand down here by the bridge and strum some chords. Now, how much of the pick should you be holding? Okay, now that is totally going to depend on your experience level, the kind of pick you're using, and the kind of sound that you want to get. It sounds like kind of a complex thing for just holding a little piece of plastic. However, if you have too much of the pick hanging out, then you're not going to have too much of a good grip and very easy to fly out. And obviously, if you don't have any of the pick hanging out, or you're not going to get any sound as you go over the strings. So the way that I like to do it is just with a tiny little bit, so you could probably barely see it coming out the edge there. And if you ever look from underneath, you can see a decent amount of the pick. Now the reason why I like to do that is so that I can get pinch harmonics. So when you got distortion cranking, I just push my thumb down a little bit, and then it kind of pushes over to get that pinch harmonic thing. If you don't know what pinch harmonics are, don't worry about that just yet. Okay, but what you probably want to be doing is just making sure that there's about ½ centimeter hanging out of the pick if you're just getting started, and that's perfect for when you're strumming. Okay, and you can step up to a thicker pick as you get more experienced as a guitarist. Now I went from a 0.60 to a 0.80 to a 1mm to a 1.14mm to a 1.5mm. I even went up to 2mm, but I've come back down to 1.5. I found that's my sweet spot. And the reason why you may want to play a harder pick is for lead guitar, you obviously have a little bit more control, okay? Because when you have a pick that's bendy, a lot of bend in it, that's perfect for when you start, because how you know how to use it is not completely right, okay? It's not completely perfect, it's not honed in. It's like when you go surfing, you always start out with a really big surfboard, and then the pros use these little tiny boards. It's the same thing with picks. You want to start with a nice soft pick that's going to give you lots of give, and going to be very forgiving, instead of playing with a hard pick where if you do something wrong, it's just going to end up flying out of your hand. So that is how you hold a guitar pick. Now go out there and try it out. Now I have a free guitar lesson series for you over at my website. You'll find a link to it in the description. So if you click that, then you'll find it's a set of 3 videos with PDF reference material and just a whole lot of good stuff that will really help elevate your guitar playing skills. So highly recommend that you go check that out. Put a lot of time and effort into it, and I'm sure you'll really enjoy it. So thanks for watching, and enjoy your guitar.